Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep. Assalamu alaikum to the family. Peace on these streets. Shalom. Salam Allah to the supreme angel. I'm your brother in the struggle, brother Minister Alif. And today we're going to echo some divine truth from Messenger Elijah Muhammad himself, directly, that raw stuff, titled, It's a Lie. Now, if it was me, I'd be like, it's a. But I'm not the messenger, and I'm not going to disrespect his teachings. So, we're going to take and give you some of that divine knowledge, wisdom, and understanding directly from Messenger Elijah Muhammad on It's a Lie. Now, if I was to summarize what he's talking about when he say it's a lie, I would say basically Christianity, and he clarifies this in other places. This right here was August the 27th, 1972. The same year in the Theology of Time, he asked himself a rhetorical question. He said, is the Bible a lie? And he said, no. When he's talking about spirituality, the original teachings of Prophet Isa or Jesus, that's true. What he's talking about is organized Christianity, organized religion in general, actually. You know what I mean? But specifically organized Christianity. That Christianity that was used to justify white supremacy, the myth of white supremacy, that was used to justify the enslavement of Africans, the burning of crosses, Jim Crow segregation laws, red districting, and poverty, and prisons, and lynchings, and you name it. You know what I mean? That mystery God. So, with no further ado, we're going to get right into this. This, as I said, this was August 27th, 1972. The messenger opens up as follows. Assalamu alaikum. As long as our enemies have the upper hand or authority over us, we can never hope for anything like human freedom. We've got to get authorities for ourselves. You know, people who have been preaching Christianity all of their lives, the religion of Satan, oh, listen at what he said. That's just what I said, brother. Now, if you believe that there's a devil, and which you see him every hour, if you want to, or more than that, he stays before you, then if he wants to deceive you while he knows you, but you don't know him, he makes up a religion. He knows you are born righteous, created righteous, but he knows he has deceived you to make you think that you and him are the same before God, that God thinks as much of him as he does you, but he's mistaken and you have been deceived. You are all right today if you will just accept your own religion and no getting on knees to ask forgiveness for your past. All of that is forgiven. God told me to tell you that he will forgive us all the past. Just accept your own now. Go from here and not think over what happened in the past. You did not know who you were, nor the enemy. So that is right and just that you should be forgiven for that which you had no knowledge of. So this is what he told me to tell you. And since that we don't have to go on our knees for yesterday, be sure that we go on our knees for today. A people that did everything that the devil did and tried to beat him at some of it and get forgiven for all of that evil, you certainly should be happy, because I myself was not Elijah Muhammad in those days. And so I thank him for forgiving me of such evil things that I did while I was under the devil. Though he says he forgives me, but I thank him for forgiving me. We have not learned what we should have learned because of our enemy. Now, the sun is a similitude of the work of God. That is why you can't understand it. You don't know where she is getting her fuel from, but she's shining. It's so much that I would like to bring you into the knowledge of that I can't do it in a few minutes. When I asked Allah in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, to teach me of the sun, he got up and stood up and looked at me and said, if you ask me again, I won't visit no more. So I wondered, why couldn't I ask him that? So the next day he came to me, he looked like he said, the poor boy asked a question and I'm God. I'm supposed to answer what he asked me. And then he started teaching me a little about the sun. Not much though. Oh no. So don't be getting your ears tuned up. Oh no, but I can say we have a mighty sun. Well, I tell you one thing like this. A man that is given a world to challenge and to bring that world to his knees to Almighty God, the man needs to know something. He just actually cannot do his work without plenty knowledge. Take for instance, in all I teach, you challenge. But you never did challenge Christianity. You took for granted that Christianity was just right. That's because you were born in it. You didn't know any better. But I would like for you to think a little while I teach. The enemy that made your fathers and my fathers a slave to the knowledge of self. Do you think that he would have made you have the knowledge of Almighty God when he had robbed you of that knowledge? Do you think he would be so kind to teach you of God and his good religion and knowing that you are directly from God? That's what he brought you here for, to take you away from God, not to teach you God, to take you out of the knowledge of God and yourself too, so that he could get you to follow him to the hell that your God and my God had promised him. He knew he was not going to rule forever. Why should he wizen you up when the day that you wake up, you'll be the first one to want to push him into hell's fire? He knows all of that. So don't try to tell him nothing. He knows it. It's you, the one that needs to be told something. He has a world full of our people called Reverend Jones and Reverend Jackson and Reverend whatnot after his name. They feel happy for him to call them reverends. That's all he will call them. Just say reverend and he feels big. Not before God. And the devil is laughing at him under his sleeves. No, Reverend, he doesn't think nothing of you. He loves to see you loving him. The honor, but he knows this honor will not stand before those who are honored by God. You are nothing before Allah. There's much work that I am doing that is standing out in the light of divine. The reverends rather listen to the devil and have his praise than to have the praise of divine. And it's written in the Bible that they love the praise of this world. This we see. As long as they have seen me at this divine work and is making progress all over the world with it, not here in Chicago alone, but I have credit and honor all over the world, while Reverend don't have honor in Chicago. If you are here, Reverend, I am glad that you might hear this. In some places, they don't want to even see you. When you talk about Christianity, they want to kill you. Once upon a time, you loved to talk about going to Africa to preach the devil's Christianity over there. That's what it is. It's the devil's Christianity. Stand up and let's pass our knowledge over. And I will show you that it's the devil's religion and not yours. It's a lie that the devil used a good name on to make you believe it. Oh, Mr. Muhammad, you call Christianity a lie? Yes. And I can make you out of a lie if you believe it. I am here against the world of the enemy who calls his religion Christianity, and against you that believes it. I'm here again, both he and his followers. Prove it to you by your own Bible that the devil was cast in a lake of fire with his false prophets. A reverend who preaches Christianity, the false prophet that the book is referring to, who went down with his name. You love to be called Reverend. Reverend Jackson, Reverend Jones, and you don't know that you are being called after the devil's name. The message goes on to say, I don't know where you get such foolish ideas. This is the devil's name, Reverend, that you are being called by. And Reverend, you will be dumped into a lake of fire with him if you don't come on and go along with Elijah Muhammad. I am very happy to have you, distinguished brothers here of the profession of doctor, dentist, and TV, messenger called the distinguished guests by names in this particular lecture. We are very happy to have such professional people as you with us this afternoon. We are the people who have respect and honor for all that visit us. And when a professional class of people visit us, we want you to know that we honor and respect you for your visiting. We need you. We are not the people that know all. We are the people that would like to learn and let learn. This is the type of people that we need now to help us. Yes, to help us. We want all the professional class of people to come join up with us and help put the job over. You have the type of help that we need, and we are working for you. Come in, help us to work for you. We are building everywhere something like signs of our work that we are doing in the name of divine. These people of this type of profession, I thank you. You are the one I want to talk with, because the man that has no learning and no profession cannot help me. Only just believe. But he can't do the work that is needed to be done. So I am thankful for you, and I will assure you that if you represent yourself with us, the devil himself will turn and honor you. This is one reason why the professional class of our people don't come and visit us to see what we are saying and doing. It's due to the fact they think the enemy will not give them, as the common saying goes, a break. You don't need the enemy to give you a break. If you do for self, you'll give your own self a break. We have been beggars of the blue-eyed devils for so long until we don't think we are getting any breaks unless we get his respect. But I say, brother, he's going down and we're going up. He's going down to dishonor and disrespect. You are going up in honor and respect. I am your teacher of the enemy, and you see me stand here and tell you the truth of them, but they have greater respect for me than they have of you. I have power with God to do my will on them, and you too, but I don't want to do nothing to you but good. You are my brother and my sisters. You can say to hell with you, Muhammad, if you want to, but I know a day that will be around soon that you will say heaven to Muhammad. A very beautiful day, a very beautiful city. You look beautiful from up here. I could stand here and talk to you all this afternoon. You brothers, I hope you hear this. Do not be trying to force no one to sell Muhammad Speaks. If they don't want to sell them, leave them alone. Leave them go. No brother that has not been registered up with us has no obligation whatsoever to help you and me do anything unless it's his will. Not cut this out. Now cut this out. Don't. You are going to be dismissed for a long time. I don't know where you get such foolish ideas. People go off and laugh at you. Cut it out. We don't force nobody to do anything for us. We don't force you that is registered up with us to do anything for us. You do according to your will. We are not people that is forced to have people to beg for us. No, you don't have to beg for us. Allah is sufficient. And I hope that the captains, secretaries, and assistant ministers will bring you to justice and send you out for a long time. You are ruining our own teachings. We are independent. We don't have to beg nobody but Allah. You are losing your head. I don't want no such followers, beggars. Beg nobody. If you don't love us enough to do something from your own will, for us, we don't want that unwilling doing. If a brother tells you that he don't care to sell no papers, take them back. Give them away. Before ever that you be disgraced by such a brother. We are a very foolish people anyway. And I don't like that. You be like that. I want you to be intelligent and show the world how intelligence looks in the act of a human being. Time brings about all things. Time is making you manifest. They call it resurrection. To resurrect the dead, they don't mean resurrecting a physically dead, but a mentally dead. So you must remember that for 400 years, we have been a mentally dead people. The time, what time? The time of God, the time of Allah. We give him the name Allah, but you call him God. That's one of his names. One of his 99 attributes is God too. But when we say Allah, we mean God. It's an Arabic name. And we like to have the use of the Arabic name because the devil has no respect for the name that he teaches you to call a supreme being, God. He uses the same name to curse with. He takes it for a joke. Recognize it. You fell in behind him and do the same. You disgrace the name of God divine. But I want you to remember that the time has come that the enemy of God, divine, will not have a chance to go around mocking God and his people forever. The day has arrived when the mockers of God must be bagged up and thrown in a furnace of fire. He wants you to go with him. He wants me to go with him and be burnt with the same fire that Allah has prepared for him. But by Allah raising me up from among you, giving me the knowledge of both gods, the God devil and the God divine, to teach you what has been hidden from you for the last 400 years, the last 6,000 years. I want you to know that the people all over the earth has been lost of the knowledge of the God divine due to the work of this devil. He has given this time to do his work, his will upon the people. Now, today, he has made himself present to prove to you and me that he just won, that he can remove Satan at once. But he is offering us a chance. I warn you to accept it and glorify it. This is no time to waste. This is no time to spend in sport and play, talking foolishness. This is a time of world destruction. Not say just a few people, but a world destruction. Everywhere the people cannot get along with each other in peace, no agreement, nothing but disagreement. So I warn you that any day now, you can expect most anything of evil, but not of good. The evil world must be cast out. The evil world must be destroyed. The evil world must be shown to you and me the justice of God to destroy her. She is destroying us and had unblind, deaf, and dumb without the knowledge of her. Now she's opened wide to you and me, that we may know, hear, and that God is not doing an injustice to her by destroying her. He's justified in destroying her. He will punish you if you go along with it. He will punish you on this side, disgrace you, or let you disgrace yourself. So I want you to remember to escape this disgracement. Come follow me. No, I'm not going to be here long with you. I don't care what you say about Elijah Muhammad. He will not be roaming in the streets with his eyes set in his head over punishment and disgrace from Allah. Because I'm not going to disobey Allah. I'm not going to teach you what he taught me to teach you. What you see me do, search the history and you can read every step I take in the light of history. I'm that fellow that you read of there in the book. I have come to do thy will, O Lord. This is him. That was not no 2,000 years ago. Jesus didn't come to the world of God at that time. He did his will by letting the Jews and the Christians live out their time. And he went back and he said that he was ahead of time. But he said that one coming behind him will be on time. And he will do what he would like to have done, but he was ahead of time. So he prophesies that one will come and he will come directly from the face of God. And some of the other prophets prophesied that he would send you one from his face. Well, I'm directly from his face for 3.5 years. And you won't do and you cannot do the things that they did to the prophets before me. This one you can't touch. This the one that the Bible warns you of, quote, touch not my anointed. This is the one that was sent directly from his face, and he defies you to do harm to him. Well, I guess you know all of that. And you see it now, the things that I do and say in the face of the enemy. He can't do a thing but listen at it, because he knows that I'm directly from the face of God, that it deforms him against touching me. So he wants to live as long as he can. As the book teaches us, that all that a man has will he give for his life. The time. The time has arrived. Has arrived for what? What are you talking about, time, man? The time and the end of Satan, whom you believe in. Now push the clock of time back and give him some more time if you can. But his time has arrived, and you have, with your ignorancy of self and the devil, have kept him living for around 60 years over his time. But Allah and myself standing here before you have agreed that time has been given long enough. If I don't tell you these truths, you will blame me for it. But I'm not going to let you have nothing to blame me for. I'm going to do the will of God that sent me. And his will is that I tell you, and your rejection of your disbelief is up to him. I'm not forced to make you believe in that which you don't. I need all of the reverends that want to come to Islam, where they will get a big reverend, a big name. I need you to help me with the people whom you and the devil have dumbed. Ministers, if you and me would get together, we would have our people in heaven overnight. All of these ministers here, I'm kind of changing my subject a little for fear that they won't understand my previous subject too well. In the Bible, it prophesies there in the Bible that, behold, I will send you Elijah, Reverend, and the book did not put Reverend to his name. I'm only saying Reverend to you, the preaching that you ought to be preaching so you will get your great name, the name Reverend, for some kind of organization of Satan. You'll never get no credit. With the people of God, we are the people of God. I tell the devil in Rome that he's lying to you. They have made you go astray, plain as you can read this. Before that great and dreadful day of the Lord, I will send you Elijah, not Reverend Elijah. If you say you disbelieve that I am that man that was sent just before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, go read it again. and then study what is going on in the world. Everybody's looking for the great thing of destruction to happen. Elijah's preaching and warning you. This is he. I will assure you that if you join up with me, Reverend, follow me so that this warning here on that board, which one will survive the war, Armageddon, will not overtake you unaware. All of the churches of America put into one church cannot save the people of the church from the great disaster that is now falling America. And the worst is yet to come. You cannot find a God in your church. I don't care what you say you have, but I'm asking you to do something to put a stop to the destruction that is falling America today. Even the president doesn't warn you to pray to the church's God to help him. No man at war today will ask you to pray to the church God to put a stop to that slaughtering. No, but the Muslims sit by and look at you, knowing that you are like the people that the Bible tells you that worship Baal. And Elijah sat there and laughed at him. The same thing that goes for you. I don't care how sore you get at me. Call your God and tell him to do something about it. This is what you need. Some frank teaching. If I make a mistake in what you would call making fun of your God, I will give you $10,000 out of my brother's vest pocket right here before you leave, or a check for it. And our checks are very good. You've got nothing but a lie from your blue-eyed Caucasian devil. I'm not trying to make fun. I'm just making truth, not fun. No, if I was making fun, I would not have said it. I would be afraid of meeting the consequence when I leave the stand, knowing that you are going to meet the consequence yourself for believing in these devils to teach you away from your own God and the salvation in which he has sent to you. He wants you to reject it. Since he's going to hell, he wants you to go too. But not as long as I'm here, not going to send you to hell just because you are ignorant to the knowledge of yourself. No. Beat you up a little bit. That's right. Just give you a good beating and you'll come running saying, I believe. Not the kind of beating that you expect with a strap or something. No. Get you here. Yes. That's the place to beat you up in your head. You must submit to the will of God. The will of God must be done today, not the will of Satan. Allah gave to Satan 6,000 years to do his will. Now, the will of Almighty God, Allah, comes in. He will do his will, and there's none can stop it. His will must be done. You have prayed in prayers, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now he is ready to do his will. If you don't believe that I'm the one, take a tally of my work. I'm just doing just what the Bible told you or teaches you that I would do. Elijah, I will send you him before the great and dreadful day of the Lord comes. Do you see anything pretty out there coming? We don't see a thing in the world but a dreadful time. You're going to be so hungry here until you will desire to eat each other. And if the other one doesn't watch you, you will do it. It is written. The Bible says that Allah's righteous people will eat, but you unrighteous and disbelievers will be hungry. The devil is warning you all the time now against sitting down, not trying to make preparations for you to get something to eat. We are out in Alabama. We are in Georgia. We are in Michigan, trying to grow something to do something about our hunger. We ask you to help us. You won't help us because you don't want the evil devil to know that you would help those that he don't like. This is why you don't help the Muslims. It is because you don't want to be called a Muslim to the joy of Satan. Satan wants you to stay with him So he don't want you to be called a Muslim. And you say, no, sir, boss. I would never join up with them old crazy folks. Them old folks is crazy. We teach the knowledge and understanding of the book. Why did Abraham, the first prophet, why did not he, after his knowledge of the coming of God, choosing you and me, why did he find water, his wife puckering up under the foot of the baby? What did that mean, Reverend, to us? It means that just what I'm teaching. It meant that you'll be looking for somebody to come from afar to teach you the knowledge of God, and the man is right there at your feet. Abraham prayed. Ishmael prayed. Both father and son saw in the distant future of us that we would need a teacher. He said, raise up among them, O Lord, a teacher from among themselves. Teach him the book, the Bible, and the wisdom, for they do not understand it. They only use guesses. How many times, Reverend, have we heard you say, I teach it the way I see it, my way? We cannot take God's word and teach it as we see. We have got to teach it like he gives it to us, the way he wants us to say it, and not the way we want to say it. I tell you, Reverend, that you are the hindrance to the kingdom of heaven of your people, like the Bible teaches you, that you stand in the way of the kingdom of heaven. You won't go in yourself, and you won't let others go in. Teach against them coming in. This is that kingdom of heaven that he's referring to, and this is it that I'm teaching, that I'm preaching. The time has arrived that we must tell you the truth. Don't you will come to us and say, if you had told us, I would have believed, but you didn't tell me. I'm here before God today asking me, did I hear you and I didn't hear you? Because you stopped up your ears to keep from hearing. That's what the Bible says, and that you are doing. Preachers going out, putting up a little church and a little storehouses and everywhere to fulfill Isaiah's prophecy of you. Everyone wanting a little piece of his own to get a little meat and bread and money for self. These things I say to you, Reverend, you should cut it out. You're going to have a terrible time before this enemy yields to get out of the way. Yes, it's awful to talk about. You are going to have people out there killing each other, out there in the street, and their blood running out there in the gutter of the streets. Now, pretty soon. It could happen tonight because the time is here. Be you careful. Don't forget that it is time that you go to your God. He doesn't ask you for anything of the past. Our past was due to our enemy. Therefore, he has forgiven for what the enemy looks like. Listen and see what he's saying. He doesn't invite you to no righteousness. He invites you to evil. They play all night to attract your attention to that. He knows that he has misled you and that he wants to keep you with it until law destroys him so that you can be destroyed with him. I'm referring only to the blue-eyed Caucasian, the open and real enemy, devil against black people. He doesn't love you, and he hates me to the utmost. But he can't do nothing about it. He has taken the Bible and mixed up the truth and false in it so you wouldn't understand it. Let this little brother of yours tackle with him. Send him to me, as the book teaches you, that they will shut their mouths to him, meaning me. You won't hear them arguing with me on what I say. They know I'm telling you the truth. And if anything, he will tell you, you had better follow him because he writes me. My secretaries here to my left bear me witness that they are trying to join up with me. There they are over there. You ask them when you get a chance. They can show you plenty of letters that the devils write to me, wanting to join up and saying in their writing, is not there some white people that is not devil? I tell them, I don't know any. I don't know of any. They ask, isn't some of us better than others? Yes, but that don't make you not the devil though. If you go to one of these secretaries over here and ask them to let you see a letter, since I know you, you're from Missouri, you want to be shown. But we are not here to lie. We don't tell lies. We tell you the truth. If you find me lying, then I'm a liar and I'm not the messenger of Allah. Allah doesn't want a liar for his messenger. As we find it in the Holy Quran, when Pharaoh called Moses a liar, his senators told him that if he's a liar, then on him will be his lie. For Allah does not appoint no such thing as a liar for him. These prophets must be 100% truth. You cannot take these writings that is on that board. You can't take it and use it unless you are a believer. Regardless the wisdom that is in it, you cannot use it and be successful unless you are a believer. The truth that the man hanging on the tree under your slave master's flag, you believe he's right. You want your flag to be his old glory. But I say, what has old glory, the stars and the stripes given to you and me, but what you see, the picture there hanging on the limb? Every night and day, you listen over the radio and you see on the TV, he's chasing a poor black man to take his life away from him. But over there under that beautiful red background with a star and with a crescent you don't see, over here, no Islamic people chasing each other. When you believe in Islam, all the world of Islam will recognize and respect you. They will fight for you. They will die for you. We that are up here displaying the same star and that moon and that red background, that represents the sun. Why does that represent the sun? Because the sun is a ball of fire and light, and that the sun, we all live in it. We respect it. Out of the sun comes our food. Out of the sun comes our direction. I say to you, my believing brothers and my disbelieving brothers, take a look at it. Take a look at it. That's our flag. Your flag is a flag of mixture, blue, red, and white, when our flag is only one solid background, red. The sun and moon are there together, and the star associated with that same crescent, showing the world that we have laid hold of the greatest instruments of heaven and earth to condemn any disputer who would attack us. We used to buy it trying to make friendship with Satan. We would go and buy that crescent and put it up on our coat lapel and look at him when he would pass, as good as say to him, see, I have the crescent on me. You should take me for your brother. We give him that. After he has shown us that he could act like us 35, 40, or 50 years, we let him wear our crescent. That's ours. The red and the crescent over there, that's ours. He can take his mixture over here for himself, but if he wears that over there, look at him again. He worked for that. He didn't get that so easy. Over here you have blue, which is an untrue color. You have many stars there. It takes all of those stars to try to justify something. It shouldn't be done like that. We have one star, which justifies, which represents all the stars as ours. The stripe of red over here, not a solid background of red like over here, because red represents freedom. And he doesn't give freedom only to those who are able and wealthy. If you're able to buy it from him, he'll give you freedom. Down under it is a sign of his evils to us, a cross. How can you go to heaven or be justified by freedom and justice by a cross? It's the opposite of right direction. And so this is what you are supposed to preach when you are a reverend. You are supposed to worship the cross. What are you worshiping it for? When he tells you that he killed an innocent man on it, you should run from the cross. but you run to it to be blessed by him, and you are one of his followers. It's a shame and a disgrace for him to have made such crazy people who understood no such thing as science. I am here to teach the science of Christianity, the science of Islam, and the science of anything pertaining to religion. I am here to teach you and take what I say back to him, and he will tell you, oh, you're following them. You should say, I follow the people that give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what you have given to me that you didn't give me. He'll shut his mouth and leave you. I want you to remember again that to carry a cross on you represents a crucified prophet. You are the ones who have joined to worship the death of Jesus by the enemy. That shows what the enemy did to him. He boasts of that, but not in a way that you can understand. But he boasts that he has killed your best prophet. Tell him, why don't you go down to the temple and kill Elijah? He teaches us that you are the devil. Maybe you already did it, and he'll tell you, we know, we're watching him. That's the way he will talk to you. But I say, go tell him and let him muster up his army, and you muster up yours, and then join together and see how far you will get with me. They have no chance to win against me. I have as my friend and my guide for my protection, Almighty God, Allah himself. He's not very far from me. He's right here with me now. Take Reverend Jackson, poor boy, making a fool out of himself to be called Reverend Jackson by the devil. He knows I am here. He's been in my house 2 or 3 times. Why should not he and I get together if he's working for the black man? I'm working for the black man. Well, let us join together. All of us that is working for the black man unite. The work will be more strong if we unite together and do the work together. But he likes his blue-eyed devils because they call him Reverend Jackson. Jackson is the name of devils. If he come over to me, I give him an honorable name. And he could take and go around the world with it and be honored by the nations of the earth. But he wants to be called Reverend Jackson and trying to run politics and preaching Christianity too. So the poor boy is just a mess. I hate to see the devil, white man, make fun of our people. I hate it. This man could have been made a fine man for the black man. We talked together a few times, but he just loves to be called Reverend by the blue-eyed devil. He don't want no black eyes honoring him. We will honor him for what he's worth, but not in the way of the devil's worship. But they will dump him after a while like they do all that follow them. He called himself worshiping Martin Luther King. After Martin Luther King visited my house, he sat out there in his car and tuned up on what we were talking about. I guess he heard him say that he agreed with me that they were the devils. They saw that Elijah was winning that disciple over, so they go and shoot him and set up a hypocrite for Elijah. And that was Malcolm. And get you to worship Malcolm. He goes and built a college after his name to pull you away from me. He knows Malcolm was not with me. So he gets you to worship hypocrites of Elijah Muhammad so you can go to hell with them. But my God has not struck out after you 100%. And when he does, he won't go to hell with them. You are going to remember this talk. And you are going to come back to Elijah and shake my hand and say, Mr. Muhammad, I'm with you. I know you are going to do that. I don't care what you believe in now. You can believe in Buddhism. It doesn't make any difference to me. There's a time set that Allah is going to force you to believe in what I'm teaching. You're not to get away from this running away to some other God. No, Allah is going to make you bow to Him. How many reverends could get 16 buses coming from one city to go back that evening just to hear him teach for a few hours? You can't do that because the voice of the reverend is no more appealing to them. They would not spend that kind of money to go listen at a reverend because they have been listening at a reverend all their lives. And reverend have never gotten them no place out of the hard disrespect and dishonor by the people of the earth. Reverend can't go to Asia today and be honored. He can't go to Africa today and be honored. They want Elijah over in Africa. I'm not making fun of the preachers. They are making fun of themselves with the kind of preaching they are doing. They want to go to heaven after they are dead. Well, that's right. I'm getting you after you are dead to go to heaven. Dead mentally. To the knowledge of self, God, and the devil. I'm trying to get you to heaven now on that same subject after you are dead. We are not put here to live forever. No man, God Himself, that made the heavens and the earth, didn't live forever. He too is gone. So that we may remember that we all come here and we all die away. No God or prophet lives forever. Assalamu alaikum. Elijah Muhammad, messenger of Allah. Peace, family. The struggle continues.